This is a 2026 GMC Yukon AT4 in Onyx Black. We're going to do a walk around and a review on it. Let me know what you guys think. So in front of me here, I've got the 2026 GMC Yukon AT4 in Onyx Black. Now this is going to be GMC's off-road edition of an SUV. And I think it looks really good. So we'll start here at the front. We've got these C-shaped LED daytime running lights with your LED lights. As we carry over into the center of the SUV, we've got the blacked out GMC badge. We've got a camera underneath that, AT4 on the right side, and then we've got a grayish type of grille. Now down below on the bumper, we've got your parking sensors, two red recovery hooks with some kind of brushed aluminum piece there. And then with the AT4, you're going to get a skid plate underneath. Now you also get your fog lights, but below your fog lights, you'll notice that the bumper tapers a little bit, and that is just to allow for more wheel space if you are going to off-road. Now, I doubt a lot of people are actually going to take this vehicle off-road, but at the front, like I said, I think it looks good. They've done a good job with the overall kind of off-road look of it, but like I said, I don't think many people are going to take this off-road, but that's it here at the front. Let's take a look underneath the hood and go over the engine of choice. So taking a look underneath the hood here of this Yukon AT4, we've got the naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8 producing 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque with the 10-speed. Having said that, if you don't want the 6.2, you still can get the 3-liter Duramax, because I know the 6.2s may have had their issues in the past. I believe they're fixed now, but if you still are not certain on the engine, you still can get the 3-liter Duramax. So that's it underneath the hood here of this Yukon AT4. Let's take a look around the SUV and go over its options. All right, so let's take a look around the Yukon AT4, and we'll start with the tire and wheel setup. So we're sitting on a 20-inch wheel. 275/60 R20 is the tire dimension. As we can see, we've got a brushed aluminum front face of the wheel with some black inserts around it. We've got a carpeted liner inside that wheel well, and it does sit on air suspension. Over here on the side of the fender, we can see we've got the GMC logo there with a kind of grayish fender cover here, as we can see. And then we've got a blacked out mirror cap with a light here and a camera to encompass your full 360 camera. Here's a side profile view of the Yukon. So this is not the XL, this is just the regular Yukon. We also can see there's not much chrome going on around the AT4. It's kind of got a blacked out look. We've got keyless entry though on all 4 doors, which is nice to note. We've got the AT4 badge there. And now this one does have also your power running boards, which we'll take a look. So as you open up the door, the power running boards will come out just like that. And then here's what the interior looks like. And might I say, it's got a really nice color to it. But we'll start with the door panel here. It looks like kind of like brownish stitching here. We've got a laminate pattern here. Lock and unlock, automatic window control here, Bose speaker, and then some cubbies down below. We've got the AT4 name here. We've got this chrome look to it. And then here's what the seat looks like. So the color of the seat looks like a bluish color. And then you've got that brown piping and stitching carried throughout. You've got your seat adjustments here. No massaging seats on the AT4. And then here's what the dash looks like. So more of that brown stitching is going to carry throughout the dash. And then also on the sides here of the center console, you're going to get some more storage down here. And then here's that lower glove box area. You've got handle here on the passenger side, but not on the driver's side. This is going to come with a full moonroof as well. And then this is what the back looks like here. So same type of design. So it is a more of a blue color here with that dark brownish material for stitching. You've got lock and unlock here and more of that stitching carried at the top. Bose speaker here, your compartments here, and it is all soft touch too. So might I add, you've got AT4 there on the door sill. And then this is what that seat looks like. So it is nice and plush. And then it is also in that bluish color, you can see, with more of that brown stitching and piping. Now this does have these screens in the back here. These seats are also heated, and you've got your own climate control. You've got HDMIs, and then you've also got a 120 down below here. You've got USB-Cs here also to add, and then the cup holders are at the top. Looks really good, but I'll show you guys how I would hop in here as someone who's about 5'10", 5'11". All right, so first things first is I'm going to hop in here. The nice thing is you've got handles and that running board. But I'm going to move the seat back, which is very easy to do. You just grab this lever here and push it all the way back, and that's it. So I've got a ton of room here. I also like the fact that there's an armrest here, so you can relax your arm. And the seat is pretty comfy, I do have to say. This here is also for you to recline, so you can recline the seat, which is also a cool thing to add. This will fold the seat, which I will show you and demonstrate. But overall, it's nice. You've got your screens here. You can hook up your PlayStation, Xbox, play some video games here, only on one screen because there's only one 120 plug. You've got the moonroof here, which will open once we get over on that side so you guys can see the light. And I like the center console here that there's none. And you can walk through if you've got at least 3 kids, or if you need to put people back there. It's nice that you have this little area here. Now, I'll show you how to fold the seat. So there's a couple ways. You can click this twice and it will open. You're able to access the third row. Another cool option, if you don't want to manually do it, is there is a button here which you can push. Comes down just like that. Push it again and the seat will automatically come up. Now since the seat's up, I'll show you guys how to get into the back here and how much space there is. I'll hop in here. And honestly, the back here, the seats are pretty comfy. I do have to say, they're not that bad. This is kind of what I would look like being behind this seat. You've got a USB-C plug here, cup holder. You've got your own vent here. There is a little bit of an indent at the top here, so if you're a taller person, but I still would say these are more for kids or whatnot. Adults back here for a longer trip would probably be uncomfortable, but the bottom part of the seat is pretty comfy, I do have to say. But yeah, this is going to help you a lot to get through if the seat is down and someone is sitting there. Overall, I got to say it is pretty comfy back here. All right, so we'll shut this here and then we'll lift it back up. Very easy. And then we'll shut the door. Here's also a look at that back tire and wheel. So same dimensions in the back here as it is in the front. You still got that carpeted liner and it does sit on air suspension. So that's it for a side profile view. Let's take a look at the back. So in the back here of the GMC Yukon AT4, we'll start right here in the middle. We've got the blacked out GMC name. Above that, you're going to get some more of a grayish trim piece. Yukon on the left, AT4 on the right, and then that brushed aluminum trim carries down on the bumper. Quad tipped exhaust tips. You're able to tow with this vehicle. Now with the max towing capability, I believe it's about 8,000 pounds. It does give you a decent amount of capability for towing. You've got LED taillights also. Now a couple things to note, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. You can access the back by just clicking a button to the right of the C on GMC. And then this will open and you're going to be able to access the back here. Now, one other thing is they stow the wiper here in this little spoiler. So it just gives this a clean look. And then you can also open the back by clicking this button here. One other thing to note is there's two cameras here. One is for the back camera and one is for your mirror camera, which we'll get into. So we'll open this up just like that. Now, without the XL version, you're not going to get a lot of room back here. You know, you still can put the seats down. So by clicking this button here, you're going to be able to push this seat down. The headrest will fold, which is also a nice thing to add. So with the third row seats down, you're going to get, you know, an ample amount of room. It is a 60-40 split. And then you can also have it come up just like that. So I'm going to push this down for this purpose because you can also push down the second row seats just by pushing this button here. Now the seat will only fold down. It will not actually come up and you can fold it all the way. You also get a little bit more storage here. And then you've got a speaker here, but nothing really else you can really put back here. You can put a sunshade back here, as we can see there is an opening for it. But overall, this is really it for the back here. And then to close it, all you do is push the button. So that is really it for the back tailgate of the GMC Yukon AT4. Let's take a look at those seats behind the driver. I just want to thank Applewood GM here in Mississauga, Ontario. Go see my boy Zach. He'll hook you up with a great deal. All right, so taking a look at the seats behind the driver here. So this is what it looks like here. We'll start with the door panel. Soft touch material here, that laminate color and trim here with some brown stitching at the top. Lock and unlock, window control, Bose speaker, more compartments here on the door panel. AT4 there on the door sill. And then we'll lift the headrest up. Here is a better look at the color since it's not directly in the sun, but it does give you that bluish interior, which I think is a nice look. You've got some brown stitching and piping, and then over here in the center is where your climate control features are with heated seats, USB-Cs, HDMIs, and then you got your 120 down below. Your cup holders are at the top. And yeah, that is pretty much it. The seat also folds down the same way with these controls. And then here's a look at that button there to push if you want to automatically do it. Now that's it before we hop into the front. Let's take a look at the front seats. All right, so taking a look inside the driver's side of the Yukon AT4, we'll start with the door panel, all soft touch material here. We've got some brown stitching there at the top. We've got your lock and unlock here with memory seating. Window and mirror controls here. The mirrors also are power folding. Bose speaker down below here on the door panel. AT4 there on the door sill. And then here's what the seat looks like. So we've got a bluish color with some brown stitching and piping. One other thing to note is the AT4 name is stitched in the headrest, which is pretty cool. Here's also a look at the moonroof, so it stretches basically from front to back. Seat adjustments here. Now over here on the left side of the steering wheel, you're going to get your 4x4 settings with your light controls as well as your trailer brake controller. That's it before we hop in, guys. Let's take a look inside. So we are inside the GMC Yukon AT4. We'll start with the steering wheel. We've got a leather wrap steering wheel here, as we can see. We've got Super Cruise here on the top, which is controlled via these buttons over here. Now you can use just regular cruise control or adaptive cruise control if you don't want the autonomous driving. On the right side here of the steering wheel, we've got your heated steering wheel button, and then this here will control your different displays here. So you can actually put your maps here, which is cool. You can have your Ford collision alert. You can have different settings here with your dates and stuff like that. So it's just going to depend obviously on the user. Behind the steering wheel, we've got your paddles here if you want to put it in a different sport mode. You also have your toggles for your audio and volume. Behind the steering wheel, we've got your toggle for your wipers on the left side, and then on the right side is your transmission select. Now this vehicle does have a heads-up display, which is controlled via the screen, but it does have it, as we can see. On the left side of the steering wheel, we've got your different buttons here. So we've got 360 camera, traction control, parking sensors, hill descent control, auto stop start. It will park itself, and your lane keeping assist. Now this is a telescopic steering wheel, and you can control that via this button over here. Now on the top of the dash, it is a hard touch plastic, and you've got black stitching carried throughout the whole dash. On the right side though, you've got that brown stitching. You do get a cubby here at the top with a speaker there. You've got speakers basically on the A-pillars as well on both sides. And then you're going to get that laminate trim carried throughout the whole dash, even over onto the driver's side. Now this here is your massive display screen here from GMC. Works very well. It's very intuitive. You've got your camera button here, which you can change, the different angles, the forward and back. You can do a bird's eye view of forward and back. You can do a hitch view as well. So a ton of cool options there. It will park itself. Now you have to control the climate in the screen. Your hotkeys forward are down below. It does have heated and ventilated seats, so you can push the buttons down there. Now if you want to go back to home, you hit the house button. This here is actually pretty cool. This will give you a 3 kind of layout look. So you can have your maps, audio, and then Google Assistant. If you don't want Google Assistant, you can change it depending on what you want. And if you want your hotkeys to your audio or maps, you can just do it here at the top. Very, very cool. Now, you can also control, your heads-up display, like I mentioned, your power assisted steps, blind spot detection, garage controls, and other stuff if needed. It does have Wi-Fi in here as well, which you can pay via OnStart. Now down below here, we've got your USB-C plug, and then the wireless charging pad there. This does not close. This is always exposed here. You've got your cup holders here, more soft padding here on the side with more of that laminate trim. Now as we carry over into the center console area, we can see we've got the AT4 name there with some brown stitching. And then if we open it up, we got a center console area. Doesn't look as deep, but one cool thing that GM did was you can actually push this button here, and the center console will actually move its way back. That gives the back second row seats access more to the cup holders and their controls, but you get more storage too. So you got a cubby that pulls out, and then you can actually put things there if needed. And that's just controlled via this button here. Another cool thing that they did is that you can actually control your third row seating. So by pushing this button here, the seats will go all the way up and all the way down. So that is really, really cool. And that is controlled via these 2 buttons there. And then you can also open your moonroof if needed. This here is your rear camera mirror, which you can turn on or off as well. Now that is it for the interior. Let me know what you guys think about the interior in the comments. I think GMC did a really good job with the overall design layout. Let's go outside, give you pricing and my final thoughts. So let's talk price. 2026 GMC Yukon AT4, 126,500 Canadian. Let me know what you think about the AT4 Yukon in the comments. I understand that these vehicles are getting expensive, especially from like an SUV standpoint. Like, why is this worth 126,000? Curious to know what you guys' thoughts are, but that concludes this review. We'll see you in the next one.